Welcome to episode number 361 of the Beyond Social Media Show, the podcast for all of you marketing, advertising, public relations, and communications professionals. You can find us by searching for Beyond Social Media Show. We are recording on August 29, 2021. Be sure to catch BL's interview, if you didn't last week, with Curtis Boyd, the CEO of Objection.co. And they have a great discussion on how to fight bad online reviews, as well as his amazing career. So be sure to catch that if you didn't. But this week we go into our usual format with a bunch of things to talk about this week, including ticketed spaces, hot dog rides, Vaxxer influencers, Google's prominence metric, lawyer bots, Walmart's ad network, moms against misinfo, plagiarized posts, no justice for Page, MilkCrateChallenge, no Windows 11 for you, and influencer rates. You'll want to stick around for the end with some stats on what influencers are expecting for their posts. So there's some interesting stuff there if you're doing any influencer marketing. But we kick it off with best story of the week, and BL always has that honor. So BL, what do you got?
Well, Twitter has announced that they're rolling out paid ticketed spaces to a number of iOS users. And it's going to be a while before everyone gets the feature. But according to a series of tweets this week, they're rolling them out as part of an experiment, and they hope to get to everybody soon. And a while ago, they took applications for the feature back in June. So it had yet to flip open, but I don't think they're taking new applications right now. But those who do gain access make a decent amount of cash from it, assuming they can find a big enough audience that's willing to pay. Twitter previously said that hosts would keep up to 97% of their first $50,000 in earnings and up to 80% of anything over $50,000. So hosts are able to set their own prices and choose how many tickets they're going to make available. And of course, they're trying to compete with Clubhouse, but I have a feeling that the winner is going to be Twitter.
Yeah, I guess at this point I would place my bet on Twitter. Very interesting to see them develop that the feature, and I I can't imagine it's not going to be taken advantage of fairly quickly.
We
So
got to do the show on Spaces one day soon.
I think we should have an offshoot show on it on Spaces. I kind of like the video, so
Okay, we could do that. We could do
yeah,
that during the week, maybe.
an after hours show or something like that. Maybe a happy hour would be good. That'd be
Happy hour,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so back when I was a kid, there was a strip mall that there was a Wienermobile, Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, parked at the strip mall all the time. I just found it fascinating. It was always parked there. I never saw it driving. But then I caught it one time coming back from a Twins game in downtown Minneapolis, and there was the Wienermobile driving down the street. So of course I pulled out my Windows mobile phone at the time and took a picture of it. You know, very very glossy, blurry picture on a Windows mobile, but I got it. But you know, that's a common thing. People see the Wienermobile, they're going to pull out their camera and take a picture of it because hey, it's the Wienermobile. So based on that, this is a great Ad Age article by Sydney Gold. Lyft and Oscar Mayer have done a brand partnership. So they partnered together to surprise a few lucky customers with a ride in the Wienermobile. The campaign ran, it just concluded, from August 25 to the 27th in New York, Los Angeles, Atlanta, and Chicago. So lucky Lyft XL riders would get a ride in the hot dog-shaped vehicle equipped with neon lights, music, free swag that included weenie whistles. The riders didn't know they were being picked up by the Wienermobile until it arrived. The tagline for the campaign is "Take a whip" in the hashtag Wienermobile Lyft, and put the video in the show notes for people to see it. But very very smart idea by Oscar Mayer and Lyft for.
Well, my friend Robin Gelfenbein was actually a driver of the Wienermobile when she was in college, and she drove the Wienermobile across the country and is writing, I don't know if a book has come out yet, but she was writing a book about life on the
Oh, that's
Wienermobile.
awesome.
Well, this isn't as much fun as that, but the White House is, and I've been meaning to say this for a while, the White House is paying a group of micro influencers to spread COVID facts. This is from the New York Times, Taylor Lorenz, and apparently fewer than half of all Americans who are ages 18 to 39 are fully vaccinated, compared with more than 2/3 of those over 50, according to the CDC, and only about 58% of those 12 to 17 have gotten a shot at all. So to reach these young people, the White House enlisted a little army of about 50 Twitch streamers, YouTubers, TikTokers, and an 18-year-old pop star whose name is Olivia Rodrigo. And they all have enormous online audiences. That's what they had in common. And state and local governments also have done similar campaigns, in some cases paying micro influencers who are considered to be people with 5,000 to 100,000 followers. They pay them up to $1,000 a month to promote COVID-19 vaccines to their fans. But obviously anti-vaxxers make it like their life work, their mission to spread misinformation about the vaccine. And, even if the influencer campaign is like a sprinkler in a wildfire, the creators felt they had to join in. And this was really surprising to me. The White House Director of Digital Strategy, whose name is Rob Flaherty, said they started considering it in January, repurposing the influencer marketing tactics that they used when Biden was running for office. And he said that he and Clark Humphrey, who has the title White House COVID-19 Digital Director, teamed up with Village Marketing and Made to Save, which is for a national campaign to promote access to the vaccine. So in June, they had several off-the-record briefings over Zoom so that the creators could ask their questions. And since then, they've rolled out influencer discussions with Dr. Fauci and brought Ms. Rodriguez to the White House, where she urged people to actually get a vaccination. And I'll tell you, I got my booster shot last week. And other than a little bit of itchy rash around the shot, no reaction. Fine.
So, did you get your booster? That was your third shot?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. My doctor recommended it. It's been 6 months since my second shot. And I just walked into CVS and I got the shot.
Wow. All right. Good for you.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I had bad side effects. The second time, nothing.
Good.
Yeah.
Your body has acclimated. That's fantastic. This is Search Engine Journal's Matt Southern does kind of a community service for the search engine marketing community by recapping the Google John Muller's Hangouts. Video conferences or whatever. John Mueller is kind of the liaison to the search engine marketing community for Google, and he holds a regular video chat where he answers people's questions. So Matt Southern kind of recaps them, so you don't have to have to watch the whole thing. And this a recent one was about customer reviews, and so Google's John Mueller has stated that customer reviews are not taken into account when it comes to web search results. but they're not irrelevant in gaining visibility in Google. There's a statement by Mueller that says it might be that for the Google My Business side of things, maybe that's taken into account more. I don't have much insight there. He's just with the web search team. But with regards to normal web search, we don't take that into account, end of quote. But, you think of the star ratings that appear in search results for certain searches, that would have the effect of drawing the eye to search results. It does have the effect of drawing eyes to search results. So it may not be a factor, a ranking factor according to Google, but just psychologically with users, it's going to draw the eye because it's a graphical element to the search results that is not typically present. So there's that. But then Google has a help guide called How Google Determines Local Rankings. And that says, quote, local results are based primarily on relevance, distance, and prominence. A combination of these factors help us find the best match for your search. Google review count and review score factor into local search rankings. More reviews and positive ratings can improve your business local ranking, end of quote. So given that prominence is a signal for ranking highly in local results, you would imagine, conceivably, earned media efforts would contribute to that prominence signal. So if your location has a bunch of reviews from a local newspaper, there's appearances by spokespeople or features on television or radio media coverage, bloggers or influencers are citing the location or talking about it, and even when you go to a Google My Business listing for a retail location, it will have busiest hour graph in the search panel. So that measures foot traffic. That's measured by Google's mobile apps and everything. So you would think that also could be a prominence signal for ranking highly in local search results. So that's a couple of things to consider that I found interesting, hadn't thought of before. But there you go.
Those are definitely interesting. But when I interviewed Curtis Boyd, he pointed out that Google removed, I think he said 200 million fake reviews just last year. And all in all, online, there's like 600 million fake reviews. And those are defined as like illegitimate reviews are people who didn't actually buy something or visit the store, or disgruntled former employees, people who are not leaving a factual review. And so, and I asked him, like, that was my question, like, who can we trust? And he said, don't trust anybody.
Yeah, okay, well.
Anyway, a lot of people don't trust lawyers, from Shakespeare on, kill all the lawyers. So this is about a do not pay, which uses AI to give you the best legal language to combat issues. And it won't handle parking tickets because most people with parking tickets are actually guilty, they say.
Not in
So
Minneapolis. I'm sorry.
really,
That's a revenue stream for them.
yeah. Well, so this is from an article and a screenshot, and apparently our next legal advisor could be a robot. So it's the world's first robot lawyer. You tell the chat bot what your problem is, like appealing a parking fine, and it suggests what is the best legal language to use to combat it. So it makes use of AI to tell you, to give you legal services and a lot more. And it's certainly a lot less expensive than a lawyer, and it gives you tools to fight on your own. But I don't know if you know this about me, but a long time ago I had a consumer complaint handling service. It was called Rent-A-Fetch, and I used to complain for other people and get them their money back and their things reversed and all that sort of thing. So the fact that AI can do that now is really kind of funny to me.
All right, I'll check it out next time I need to.
Yeah.
This is, I found this fascinating. This is a Marketing Dive article by Peter Adams, who reports on Walmart unveiling a new demand side advertising platform. that combines the retailer's own first party data with an ad tech partner's expertise. The ad tech partner's the trade desk. This Walmart DSP, I guess is what they're calling it, will be available to select suppliers by the end of October. So ahead of the holiday season, it offers full access to the trade desk's inventory across channels, including display, streaming, mobile, audio, and connected TV, and more importantly, draws on Walmart's shopping data and audience insights from the Walmart website, from Walmart's mobile app, and from its 4,700 brick and mortar locations. So Walmart apparently is positioning its ability to connect in-store and online sales to differentiate itself among other ad networks, and providing a closed-looped measurement system. But this is an example, I think, of the evolving nature of the advertising world in a world where first party data is much more important, given that Apple is cracking down on people collecting data from its platform and everything. So Walmart has a massive pool of first party data that they're monetizing. So I think this is something that is a trend we will continue to see in the future as people realize the value of the data they're sitting on.
Yeah, they should be paying us for it. So this is about a Facebook group that's fighting, it's a mom's group fighting vaccine misinformation. This is from the Washington Post, and it's from Elizabeth Waskin, Will Aremus, and Garrett Van Wink. And it's called Vaccine Talk, and it was started by a group of moms. It now has nearly 70,000 members, and they have to get the administrator's approval to join, and they have to commit to a code of conduct. So the group, which is private, bills itself as an evidence-based discussion forum for pro-vaccine and anti-vaccine folks alike. And the battle, it's raging on social media. And in the midst of the online scare stories and the anti-vaccine memes and this army of local influencers plus everyday users is waging this grassroots campaign on Facebook, on Reddit, and other places to kind of gently win over the vaccine skeptics. And they spend hours, unpaid, moderating forums, responding to comments, linking to research studies, sharing tips on how to talk to fearful family members. And Kate Bilowitz, who is a mom who works for a real estate company and who's the co-founder of Vaccine Talk, said it feels a lot like COVID is something that's completely out of control and there's nothing we can do. Like it's an out of control wildfire, and I'm just one person with a little hose. She said, but when people reach out to us, it feels like it's making a little bit of a difference. And so Facebook leans on software and its army of 15,000 human moderators to detect COVID information, but we all know they're doing a really horrible job. They said they took down more than 20 million posts just last month since the start of the pandemic, but new stuff pops up every day, and at times it gets rid of legitimate information. So the feed algorithm boosts posts that get engagement, and that often helps the sensational stuff go viral. And a recent Rutgers survey found that people who get their news primarily from Facebook were less likely to be vaccinated than any other group of news consumers, with the possible exception of Fox News viewers. But research also supports the idea that social media can be a force for pro-vaccine persuasion under the right circumstances. So a study from MIT Sloan School of Management, which is not yet peer reviewed, found that people on the fence can be swayed by learning that others around them are getting vaccinated. So Vaccine Talk, it makes you commit to a code of conduct, and rules prohibit misrepresenting yourself. And offering medical advice or harassing or bullying anybody. But the key rule is you have to be ready to provide citations within 24 hours for any claim that you make. And they have 25 moderators and administrators in 6 countries who monitor the posts, and those who flout the rules get kicked out. So, yay for moms.
Well, I mean, the first there was Moms Against Drunk Driving, and then there was Moms Against Gun Violence, and now we've got
Mm-hmm.
Moms Against Misinformation. So go moms! Um,
Yeah.
the Facebook announcing they've removed 15,000 posts on X topic for X
Means
reason.
nothing.
It's a drop in the bucket when you consider that a billion plus people are on Facebook. It means, yeah, it's a PR move more than anything. But I've it's interesting because that's kind of what they're doing is hard work, and it's hard work for two reasons. One, it's not software doing it; it's people doing it. So you have to spend actual hours
Lots of
doing it,
time. Yeah.
and it requires you to manage your emotions. Because my response to anti-vaxxers is, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're just an idiot. And to dismiss them and or shame them, I'm done with the anti-vaxxers because I'm so frustrated. You and I, we did our part, right? We
Yeah.
got vaccinated, but that's not how you convince people. You
Not
don't
at all.
convince
It
people
doesn't work
by
for
yeah,
anything.
yeah. So I'm not one. I'm not a mom. Two, I don't have the patience to be a mom against in misinformation. So good for them. I'm out of good stories.
Me too. You want to do a bad one or should I?
Sure, I'll take one.
Okay.
This is I noticed this on Twitter first because I follow Ellen Page, but the Star Tribune's Paul Walsh did a story on it, and Alan Page posted a screenshot of the message he received from Twitter that denied him the blue verified account checkmark that BL has and I don't have. And Twitter's explanation was that he is apparently not a notable person, quote unquote. So Alan Page is the only instance I can think of a childhood hero of mine still being one of my heroes in adulthood.
They
Um,
use that term. You're not a notable person.
correct. That is actually, yeah. Um, for BS medians who don't know, let me count the ways in which Alan Page is notable. So he was the first round draft pick, 15th overall, of the Minnesota Vikings in 1967. He played 15 seasons in the NFL. He went to 9 straight Pro Bowls, played in 4 Super Bowls, was the first ever defensive player named the league's MVP in 1971, and he was elected to Pro Football's Hall of Fame. But not notable enough for you? During his playing days, he put himself through law school, served as the players' representative, and on the executive committee of the NFL's Players Union. The Players Union renamed its community service award in his honor. He earned his JD degree from the University of Minnesota in 1978. He worked at a prominent Minnesota law firm. He served as the state's assistant attorney general. He was the first African American elected as Associate Justice for the Minnesota Supreme Court. He and his wife Diane founded the Page Education Foundation, which provides financial and mentoring assistance to students of color in exchange for their commitment to further volunteer service in the community. And the Page Foundation has awarded grants to more than 7,500 students who in turn have given more than 475,000 hours of their own time to young children. Page and his daughter Cammie Page have written 4 children's books, among them one titled Alan and his perfectly pointy, impossibly perpendicular pinky, and that's in reference to Alan Page's broken pinky from his football playing days. It literally goes 45 degrees sideways, and when he talks, it flops around. It's kind of gross. But he wrote a book about that, and he owns an extensive collection of Jim Crow related artifacts. He has 2 schools in Minnesota that bear his name. He was awarded the
Not
presidential
notable.
He was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. So not notable enough, Twitter? Apparently Twitter employees are banned from using Google.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That really is. We have to start tweeting about that, Dave.
Yes, I agree.
So back to hating on Facebook. Casey Newton, in his platformer newsletter this week, he talked about how Facebook's most popular posts are basically plagiarized. Being original on Facebook doesn't pay, he says. All of the most popular posts are plagiarized. Facebook released a report about its most popular content, and he took a really deep dive. First, he just wrote about the report. Then the next day, he took this really deep dive into the data, and he said, all's not well on Facebook. Yeah, that's for sure. He said the most viewed posts are recycled memes, and most of the links are essentially spam, and the majority of links on Facebook are from YouTube. And he said the plagiarists who dominated Facebook's top 20 links are likely doing it primarily for clout and ill-gotten audience growth, but some of the other characters appear to have more direct monetary incentives. So this is why I sometimes miss friends' birthdays, because I don't go on Facebook anymore.
That's, I mean, that is your last point in particular. I find myself not going to Facebook daily. And so therefore, yeah, I'm missing some friends' birthdays. Is the one thing I totally rely on Facebook for.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, they give them on LinkedIn, but that's not
Yeah,
where all my friends are going to be.
yeah. That's it for me as far as bad. I
Oh, well,
don't have
I
any
don't
more.
know if you saw this week, but did you see the Milk Crate Challenge by any chance?
I heard about it.
What a stupid bunch of people. Apparently, like scores and scores of people broke their bones. And of course they did. They were falling more than 10 feet from the top of a pile of crates in the Milk Bone Challenge on TikTok. So TikTok banned it, okay? Tom McKay wrote about it in Gizmodo, but I was looking at it during the week, and for whatever stupid reason, it spread through TikTok, and hundreds of people, what they did was they piled up the milk crates in the shape of a pyramid, and then had themselves filmed trying to walk up one side of it to 10 feet high, and then walk down the other side of it without falling. And pretty soon doctors were begging them to stop because they were landing in ERs. They had broken bones, they had broken backs, they had traumatic brain injuries. So TikTok took down all the videos and they took down the hashtag, but of course you can still find them online. And my guess is that some idiots are still doing it. So Business Insider said that by the time TikTok took action on the Milk Crate Challenge, the hashtags had racked up over 71 million views. And this is not the first time people have hurt themselves in these challenges, ill-advised viral challenges. There was one, I've missed most of these, running through traffic blindfolded. I missed that one. Dipping one's testicles in soy sauce, setting fire to snow to prove it's not real, and then the skull breaker challenge, which kind of speaks for itself. Like, what the hell is wrong with people? And you know who made it? The mascot of Indianapolis. He's like a cow in a blue suit. He walked up and down like it was nothing. And there was one guy who went up and down and then went up and down backwards. But most people like just fell and hurt themselves. Like, what
Yeah,
a bunch.
those last two are that's just premier pro experts right there.
You think?
Yeah, I don't think. So you haven't. I take it then, BL, that you haven't done the milk crate challenge.
Nor will I.
No.
And a
No?
lot, and they were like even doing it in prison. There were people falling on concrete. I mean, how freaking stupid do you have to be?
Well, I mean, it is on TikTok, so the average age is probably going to be around 18 or something. So the judgment of 18-year-olds is generally pretty suspect.
Well, the brain's not fully
And
developed.
and they they are the people who would have the most access to milk crates, because who needs milk crates after you've recently graduated from college, I guess, or when you're in college is when you're most likely to be using milk crates. And I don't even know now whether anybody would really use milk crates, because back in the day they're perfect for holding your albums,
Bookcases, yeah.
and they actually were pretty good for holding CDs, books. Yeah, so
Yeah, they were good. You could eat on them. You could make a pile and eat on them. You can make a table. I mean,
no,
yeah, but I don't know where they get them all. I mean, I never see any.
yeah.
I don't get any. So, Microsoft, the other company that I love to hate on, Microsoft apparently hates old computers. And this is from a really interesting story by Sean Hollister on The Verge. Microsoft's going to make it extremely difficult for you to install Windows 11 and any future security updates or driver updates if you have an old computer. So if your CPU, which they described as anything older than an Intel 8th gen CPU, I don't know how old that would make your computer, but this is just another reason why I just bought a new Mac. On Thursday morning, they told The Verge that they would not block millions of computers from downloading the new Windows 11. Then on Friday, they told them the truth. And the article said, like, we don't know why they didn't tell us the truth to begin with, but it turns out they won't actually block you from installing Windows 11 on a Windows PC with an older CPU, but you have to do it manually, and you have to install an ISO file all by yourself before you can do it. And they, apparently they want to push Windows users to buy a new PC, whether or not they need one. So the technicality has a technicality. Microsoft now is threatening to withhold Windows updates from your copy of Windows 11, potentially including security and driver updates if you manually install it. So Hollister said it's hard to imagine that Microsoft won't issue critical security patches, which they've often done in the past. But sometimes even after they shelved an operating system, they would issue updates. But it also is possible that they generally mean to withhold patches at some point in the future, potentially even when they launch Windows 11, and they declined to clarify further at this time, suggesting that they might be perfectly happy to have you assume this is a real threat. So if you don't replace your older PC, you theoretically have to go back to the days when you were manually downloading updates and for all your hardware. I mean, that's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think it's ridiculous at all. I don't.
No?
No. You know, Windows software is installed on a gazillion different types of machines. It's not like Apple, which has a closed system and they control the hardware and the software and everything. Um, they're installed in who knows what machine, and in order to innovate, in order to provide cooler and better operating systems, they've got to upgrade and use the latest technology that's available on computers, which means better CPUs, better all that stuff. So yeah,
Not
they're gonna.
everybody can afford to update their equipment right now.
Well,
People are hurting.
well, I mean, if Microsoft, they typically support a very long list of computers that are out of date, and you got to kind of upgrade your Windows computer every 3 years. That's kind of the cycle of
Really.
technology.
When I updated my Mac, Word stopped working, and I said, screw it, I'll just use Pages and Google Docs. I mean, I'm not paying them for Word again. I already bought it. I mean, that, I'm done with them. Anyway, I do have a smile.
What's that?
Well, I mean, every week, twice a week, Maria Popova does brain picking. She does a midweek pick me up. And so this one is Bob Dylan on the vulnerability, the meaning of integrity, and music as an instrument of truth. Am I hearing one of your cats? No.
No, you're hearing a car racing.
Oh, so Dylan says you must be vulnerable to be sensitive to reality. And to me, being vulnerable is just another way of saying that one has nothing more to lose. Or as Chris Christopherson put it, this is me, not him, freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. It ain't nothing, honey, if it ain't free. But all great art, Dylan says, and only honest art can be great, is therefore the work of vulnerability, and all integrity is the function of fidelity to one's fragilities. It's a wonderful article.
Sounds great, but I didn't really pay much attention to it because you said that Chris Christopherson uh, was wrote the line "Freedom's just another word for nothing less to lose." I didn't know that. I always thought it was Janis Joplin. So Chris Christopherson wrote the song.
I believe so.
All right, there you go.
Yeah. Okay, so we're on to shiny things.
Yeah, so this is from Lifehackers Pranay Parab. And I didn't even know this. This is how to take a long screenshot on your iPhone.
Oh,
So once you take a screenshot on your iPhone, you tap the preview image that appears in the bottom left of your screen, and at the top there's a full page. You select full page to see the scrolling screenshot you need. And then you can edit and annotate. So you tap done, select save to PDF, save PDF to file, so it saves as a PDF, and apparently works on most browsers, but not all of them. But they tested it with Safari, DuckDuckGo, and Chrome, and it worked on all of those. So Safari and Chrome should get you through. But I didn't really even realize you could do that on iPhone.
where's the preview button?
The preview button is once you take a screenshot, it appears in the bottom left of your iPhone screen. So you tap on the preview, so you get the little thumbnail preview of the screenshot you took. Tap on that preview image, and then at the top of the preview image is you select full page, so that you can do the scrolling.
Oh, I'll have to
Capture
try
the full
that. That's
page.
so
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
So I just subscribed to Upstract. Do you know it?
I don't.
It's a really good news curator. It's $5 a month for the pro version, but there's a free version, and I think it's well worth it. And they curate news from all over the internet onto one page, and they send you a daily update of the top stories, and they just send you like the 10 top stories. And I have to say that there's always something in there that I did not find myself. And I read a lot, and so I would highly recommend it. Upstract is really worth your time.
All right.
So
Very cool.
yeah, you got more?
I do. This is a quick one. GoDaddy has launched a social media scheduling tool for small to medium sized businesses. Since Hootsuite went and screwed their users, I changed to Buffer, but I don't want to pay a lot for scheduling all my other things. So I'm looking for all these different things. So I'm using Hootsuite, the free version, Buffer, the limited paid version. And I was thinking, wow, here's another one I can use for some of my other Twitter accounts. But apparently not. It is free, but it's free for GoDaddy customers who have the Website Plus marketing
Oh,
plan. But
okay.
it's a content calendar and it includes social scheduling, so that's cool. Do you have any more cool stuff?
I don't, but go ahead with the SEMrush one. I'm
Yeah,
using it. It's great.
one last one. SEMrush has a writing assistant that is included in the SEMrush subscription, and you can use it natively right within SEMrush. It's great. What it does is you put in the keyword that you want to search optimize some content for, and then you paste in the content of the article that you're writing for optimization, and it goes and examines your copy, examines your article, and it examines the search results that you've put in the keyword that you want to optimize for, and it tells you based on those two, an examination of those two sets of data, what language you should use in your post, and whether you should include links, and gives you other SEO suggestions. So that's pretty cool. There is a Google Docs add-on for SEMrush. You need a subscription to SEMrush to fully use it, but you can add add it to your Google Docs and have the writing assistant directly within Google Docs. And then there also is a plugin for WordPress as well, so you can use the writing assistant within your WordPress install. So there you go.
You told me about it, and it's so great in SEMrush. And it also tells you like where your sentences are too long. It rates the complexity. It's kind of like a combination of Hemingway and SEMrush and Grammarly. And it tells you, it gives you like the reading comprehension score. It tells you, it even checks for plagiarism.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it's just remarkable. But if you have a subscription, it's an extra $100 a month.
Yeah.
But I find it to be totally worth it.
Yeah.
And just wonderful. So I just have some pro tips. Do you have any of those?
I don't. Go
I have a
shoot.
couple. Google has a search console training on YouTube, so I'll just put a link to that in the show notes. And then there was a good article in Google Search Central's YouTube channel about how long it takes for new content to be indexed. And that was really interesting because even if it's perfectly optimized, it's still going to take generally weeks and sometimes longer for your new content to be indexed. And then sometimes it shows up overnight. So who knows? But also, YouTube's introducing two-step verification for the YouTube Partner Program. Starting November 1st, everybody in that program has to have their channel secured with two-step verification. And without it, you won't be able to access YouTube Studio. And this is required for everybody. And if you haven't set it up on your Google account, you can start the process. There's a link. Since YouTube Partner Program was launched 14 years ago, there are now more than 2 million creators in the program. And we actually have to do this for our channel. They keep asking.
I get two-factor, but it's such a pain in the ass. I just hate it.
Well, it's a
We're,
pain in the ass for us, especially because both of us access their channel.
well, there's that, but also, working with clients,
Yeah,
oh God, do I have to do this again? This is
yeah.
so annoying.
I
There,
know. I'm an administrator on like 6 channels,
yeah,
and so how do we how do we do that?
yeah, there's got to be a better solution. With
Yeah,
regard to your Google Search Console thing and the indexing in particular, so a feature of Google Search Console. Here's another pro tip that I didn't have, but thank you for prompting me, BL. Google Search Console has a feature where you can submit your website sitemap. It's an XML file. If you go to any website, typically it'll be at .com/ or .whatever/ sitemap.xml. And that is a automatic generated file, like WordPress generates it automatically, that lists all the pages in your site. And so whenever you publish a new blog post, it lists it there. And when Google knows about it, you submit that XML file through Google Search Console. When Google knows about it, then it will get pinged automatically when new content is published. So that's a way for you to tell Google that there's new content to index. And then Google also has a crawl feature that tells you how frequently Google crawls your website, so you can pay attention to that as well.
cool. That
Yeah.
brings us to the end of the weekly numbers.
Yeah, let's wrap this up with some weekly numbers. This is from IntelliFluence, who did a survey of it is influencer marketing platform. IntelliFluence is, and they did a survey of their influencers that are involved in the platform. And so they've got a report that is basically the expected influencer compensation survey. So what influencers are expected to be compensated for their posts and or for their involvement. It lists it goes by channel, so it has Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and blogs. And I'll just cite Instagram. How much cash do you expect for a typical Instagram post? And if you've got 1,000 to 10,000 or 9,999 followers, $193 for if you've got up to 10,000 followers.
For each post?
For each post.
Not bad.
Yep. And then from 40,000 to 50,000, it's $517. It jumps for the next increment, 50,000 to 60,000 to $745 per post. And then when you're at 90,000 level, it's $1,221. So interesting when you're planning your influencer marketing campaigns. It's an interesting report to to consult in terms of figuring out what your budget's going to be. And
Wait, who are you getting this money from?
this is
Your
what
sponsors?
brands would be paying influencers. This is
Ah,
what influencers are expecting on average
from brands.
for from brands. Yep.
Very cool. So that brings us to the end of episode 361 of the Beyond Social Media Show. And to find us, you just search Beyond Social Media Show. It'll show you all the channels we're on, all the platforms. Links to everything will be on our blog, beyondsocialmediashow.com/361. And I am here with David Erickson. On Twitter, he's D Erickson. On Instagram, he's DE Erickson. On YouTube, he's E Strategy. And he blogs at e-strategyblog.com, which you really should be reading. I'm BL Achman. I'm What's Next on Twitter. My blog is What's Next Blog. My YouTube channel is What's Next Blog. I have a website at blachman.com. The show, beyondsocialmediashow.com. And on Twitter, we're at BS Media Show. We're on every single platform that you get your podcasts from. And you can tell Alexa, I'm sorry, shouldn't say that. You can tell your smart speaker to play Beyond Social Media Show. And I think next week's Labor Day.
I'm not sure if it is or not. We might be we might be publishing next week. We might not.
We may see you soon.
Yes. Thanks for watching.